morning guys, welcome to Flying Change Friday. Hope your lockdown is going okay and you're watching lots of Netflix but also still getting to ride. If you're not, hopefully you're planning your next year's season or whatever you can do to stay motivated and positive at these tricky times. So today we are working with Captain and we're working with him for Flying Change Friday because his right to left flying change is not as good as his left to right, as he tends to get a little bit late. Now, what is a late flying change? That is when the hind legs change one or more strides after the front legs have already changed. So obviously not ideal for dressage. For jumping it doesn't have such a big impact, but we really want them to be clean and the hind legs should come through before the front legs, but in the same stride. There's lots of reasons why they might change late behind. They might be a bit crooked, a little bit weak on one hind leg, a little bit uneven on one rein. So obviously working on all those things is going to help as well. But the most important thing for us to do today is going to be to make him really aware of his hind legs. So we're going to have a little bit of play with that and see how we go. Heads up, it is a really tricky problem to solve and it's a bit different probably for every horse. Every change is probably a little bit different, but these are some things that we are using to try and fix it. This is not an issue that's already fixed, so we're going to be updating you as we go, but hopefully we can get some improvement even in just today's session. Okay, wish us luck. Keep improving.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to have a look at here, we're going to make sure in the simple changes that Captain is not using his head and neck and shoulder to launch himself into the canter from walk. Instead, I want him to stay a little stiller, a little rounder there, and the transition to come from the hind leg. So we're going to have a look at that here. So walking, we're going to keep him nice and round, and he loves to, yeah, that was good. But it could have been a little bit quicker behind there. He's a little bit lazy, so you have to be kind of aware of that. He's got such a great neck, a great shaped neck, that he gets away with coming a little above the bit in the walk canter transitions. So we've been working really hard on that. Just trying to make sure that when we ask, we can get a better response off a lighter aid with a rounder horse that's not using that front end to throw himself into the transition as much. So tuck the hind, so making sure he's always straight. That was better. So he really pushed off his hind leg that time. Okay, before we tackle the actual change, we're going to have to use the whip to kind of activate that hind leg in the canter. So we're just going to do that a little here in the trot. It may not be the prettiest thing, but you can see there we're just really trying to make him aware of his hind legs. That's good. Ben should have his whip in his left hand, but we might be working on that right hand first. So sometimes it's better to school it on the better rein, the better hind leg, to teach them a little where they're more comfortable to have a go at it. Really good. Short spurts though, don't do too long at a time. Okay, swap your whip over. We need to actually do it to the left too. Good. So you can see there was a clear difference there when we're activating that hind leg, so we want to make sure that's really awake and responsive before we go to the canter. Good, keep it together and activate. Good. All right, other hand. Okay, so now we've freshened up that to the right. We're going to now wake up this left hind leg, get it very sharp and very reactive. So when you're doing this, you can kind of, yeah, you might get a little pig-root there, that's okay. We probably will get a little pig-root when we start actually getting the change a little cleaner. That's pretty normal. Good. And you can see here, he kind of just wants to wriggle around and avoid actually stepping through with that hind leg. He's getting a little short in the neck and trying to sort of twist there. Yeah. So put him together, keep him a little straighter, make a counter flex and a left turn. Don't let him slide there because you're putting pressure on that left hind. We've still got to control the shoulder. Good. Yeah. You can see this way, you know, he gets a little more rattled. There's a little bit of a humpy thing that happens there when he asked him to step under. Whereas the other way it was pretty effortless. And you also get this little bit of crookedness that creeps in, which is all definitely relevant. relevant to the change. All right, put him together again and tap, tap, tap. Good. Yeah, and you might need to correct the straightness a little bit while you're doing the tap, tap, tap by using, that rondeur positioning again, or however you feel. Follow your instinct a little bit as to how you're going to correct that. All right, watch your reins don't get a little long there and back at you. Good. And even though we have to go through that sticky part of the contact, it's good to push him back out again. Okay, so now we're going to have a little look at the good change. Okay, so now we're just really thinking about those hind legs here. After all the simple changes, we're sort of hoping that this will come up really easily. To get organised, activate, tuck behind, really good. So that was super, but this was to the good way. So we're just warming them up, getting the buttons working a little bit to the good way first. Just really putting that hind leg there. Good. Now thinking about the new positioning again. Good, good. So let's try that. Let's put him in a little traverse. So bum to me. Bum to me. Yep. Now let's see that left hind's under. Now it's a little turn left. Okay, that was late. Keep that activity. Coming here now, you have to stop the front end a little bit from changing. So try and hold him against that change a little bit. Not too much. That's too much. Way too much. Just slight. Very slight. It's just the idea of the positioning. Now whip, whip, whip. He was still late there, but he was thinking about it. I could see that he kind of shifted the balance. Together, together, together. Whenever you're going to ask, that whip needs to be quick, quick, quick. It's probably going to come with the pig root. You're not scared of that pig root. Take your time setting it up. Stop the front end, stop the front end, stop the front end. Yep, yeah, go there. Good setup, but it was still late. And then all the way across the diagonal, thinking about the change, but not actually letting him change in front. You're going to use the whip, but you're going to sort of stop the front end from moving. Okay, keep the front end together. Good. Keep coming through this corner though. He can't keep that up forever, so just make sure you don't start that collection too early. Diagonal now, diagonal. Woohoo! Well done, big pat and walk. I'm a big pat, good boy, Bubby. I know, do you think we should do another one or? Yeah. Okay, so it was a funny one, but we had our first clean change of the day. Okay, I'm back in the game. So you could see that, with that change he did before, that he had to kind of really think about it because he used a normal way of doing it with it through his front end and just leaving his hind legs behind. We sort of took that away from him a little bit. So we're going to do it again, hopefully, see what this one will do. You can see there he's sort of anticipating, but that's a good thing for now. Pressure's on him. Okay, that one was still late. We'll just try and think about the blocking of the front legs and doing what you're doing. If he offers the change, let's see what we get. Block it, block it, block it, block it, block it. Yeah, closer. Okay, so keep that front end in check. Positioning, positioning, whip, whip, whip. That one was a little late again. So he's right to the left. Hold the front end, hold the front end, hold the front end. So bring your shoulders over onto this line towards me. Good. Yeah, well done! Woohoo, well done! Okay, so that time he changed behind before he changed in front, which means he's thinking a little differently about the change, which is really cool. So get him on the line so you've got space. Now whip, 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 whip on the hind leg, on the hind leg. Yeah, I think that was good. Yeah! Okay, so after Captain's first late change training session, what did you try first?
Okay, so we tried the positioning first, which we used the whole way through, but I sort of found kind of halfway through we got quite revved up if I sort of tried to keep him two together and in with that like trevor positioning and asked for the change if I did all that for too long.
Yep.
Sort of, and then after that I kind of tried to get him to relax a bit more, still just staying like a collected canter, but we made sort of like the diagonal a bit longer where I was asking. And I would just sort of like keep him straight and then probably like a few strides before I was going to ask for the change, put him in trevor.
Yep.
And then as I was going to ask to change, I had to tap him with the whip at the same time.
Yep.
Which was kind of hard because he also threw in like a big pig root.
So you were sort of holding the front end from not changing and then
sort of
working
the whole
back
time,
end.
kind of half holding to keep him collected. If he got too strong, I made like a rein back.
Yep.
And then sort of throughout the change just trying to keep him together, but then I had to sort of ask with my leg and tap at the same time. It was kind of like my leg was like controlling his front legs and I was using the whip to control his back legs.
Right.
So hopefully I guess as he progresses we can sort of start to eliminate the hump.
Yes.
And hopefully I don't have to use the whip as much and it will sort of develop the same as the other change.
Cool. Good job, Cappy Cap.